Burgundy Ballers, welcome. Hold on, let me change the fit because it is finally a Victory Monday. Let me adjust my big head. Victory Monday, Victory Tuesday, whatever day y'all are seeing this, we are finally won. Again, I can finally put on the Terry McLaurin jersey and the hat. I got my guy Chris, and I got some two big special guests. Andrew and Justin are out, so I got my guys Reedie and Z from the Reedie and Z podcast on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the good stuff. What's going on?
My bad, I didn't catch you up on Reedie and Z.
Reedie and Z?
Reedie. Like Reedie?
Yeah.
Like Reedie.
What's going on?
What's up, man? Like you said, Victory Monday, man. We excited. It is, when you get a win, you just feel different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thanks for having us, man. I appreciate
absolutely.
No, thank y'all for coming on, especially late at night like we normally do record.
Yeah, it's an honor, man.
All good. We're in the same boat trying to figure out when we're gonna record too. So it's crazy. One week it's noon, one week it's 7 p.m. It depends.
It always depends. It's like this team. It always depends on how we want to perform that week. Before I even talk about our Commanders, I need to talk about these goddamn referees.
Man.
All right, I need to stare y'all in the. I need to take our referees out there. I'm gonna come find y'all. I'm gonna come find your houses. I'm gonna come find your job of employment. I'm gonna come to Roger Goodell's office and make sure every single one of y'all gets beat up like Stone Cold beats up referees, like The Rock beats up referees, like Shawn Michaels kicks referees. All right, y'all are some utter trash. The fact that everyone across social media, whether it's head officials, whether it's social media pundits, former players, former officials, saying that KJ Henry sack was a picture-perfect sack, and they're saying, we've hit our quota for the day, roughing the passer. Like, come on.
Absolutely.
When Dean Blandino, a former head officiating person, said, that's a sack, they're putting the referees saying, hey, you got to look for that. He was down, rolled off, and was like, all right, I feel good all here. Roughing the passer. KJ's like, what the fuck did I do?
Facts.
It was,
abysmal.
You would have thought he was 50 Cent, like, why fuck me for?
Facts. Facts.
It was absolutely terrible.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all, man. It was a clean sack, like textbook. You know what I mean? He got off his guy, he hit the quarterback. He wasn't high, he wasn't low. You know what I mean? For them to say that he laid all his weight on him, it was just bullshit. You know what I mean? It's clearly that the NFL is rigged.
I'm starting to think that it might be.
Yeah.
It's getting there. It's the same thing like last year with Grady Jarrett in the Tampa game. It was a nice, clear textbook sack. You would tell your grandkids about. Let me tell you all the time when sacks used to mean something in the NFL. Now it's like I can't even sneeze on the quarterback. We're getting 15 yards and a $20,000 fine to boot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're gonna kill my stats, you're gonna kill my paycheck, and now the fans are gonna kill me. All right, just take me out back. Like, good.
The crazy part is that if a player complains, if a coach complains, it's a fine.
Yep.
But what discipline are these referees getting? Because these calls are costing people games.
Yep.
This is these players' livelihood, and then the margin of victory is real short. So that could swing the momentum, swing the game. Obviously that play we would have got off the field. It would have been a fourth down. We'd have been off the field. It was a big loss. I'm just glad that field goal kind of like didn't swing it.
Yeah. I mean, Rio said it best on his analysis, and shout out Rio, that's our guy. He literally said sacking the quarterback is now a class 3 misdemeanor. He's not wrong. It's gonna get you killed out there. It's like, oh man, like JJ Watt saying, sacks don't mean anything. That's a 3-time defensive player of the year, former Golden Jacket Hall of Fame guy saying sacks don't mean nothing. If London Fletcher, if Sean Taylor, if Ed Reed, if those guys are playing the NFL now, they'd be sent to a mental hospital. They'd be killing dudes out there.
They'd be kicked out of the league, low key.
Yeah.
Hey, we might as well be playing two-hand touch and flag football now in the NFL, bro.
I posted during the game. I said, I thought this was football, not golf. I mean, it's turning into checkers or chess or something. I don't know what it's turning into. It's just getting out of hand. And then let's just talk about Logan Thomas in the end zone. That's not a hold.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Forbes. The arms wrapped around him look like Curtis Samuel from last year. That's not offensive PI.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like what? Like why? If it was the Eagles, they would have called that.
Yep.
If it was the Chiefs, they would have called that. But why not for us? What's going on?
Actually, I don't know about the Chiefs and Eagles. They don't like to call plays on them, especially if they're playing Miami.
Yeah.
Hold on. My bad to cut you off.
Nah, you
know, speaking of Eagles and Chiefs, wonder who the refs going to decide in that one come week 11, Monday Night Football.
Yeah, you know the fix is definitely gonna be in. Everybody probably gonna bet on the Eagles because the Chiefs, you know what I mean, not as good this year. And you know what I mean, you already know how to the betting and the wagering system go. Everybody put their money on the Eagles.
Yep.
Vegas gonna step in and the Chiefs gonna find a way to win.
Yeah.
And the refs definitely probably gonna help them. You know what I mean? So and I mean even last night in the Eagles Dallas game, there was some questionable calls.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know what's going on in the NFL. I don't know what Roger Goodell went and, you know, set these ref downs and told them, but it's getting pitiful.
It's starting to look like that strike year when we had those replacement refs a few years ago. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I could have called that, and I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm looking at half the damn time when it comes to penalties, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing, and it's the funniest thing because I'm doing an art piece on these bum ass referees from our project. I literally made the NFL the National Bum Ass Referee League, and I put like the 2017 Rams Saints. I put the Eagles face mask against the Dolphins. I put the Cincinnati Bengals face mask against the against the Rams in the Super Bowl. And I was like, I already finished this project. Why don't I go back and add 5 more of these Commanders referee BS calls and put that in my project? Because it's getting ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who said it, but like doesn't the NBA have year-round refs for every individual team who just stays there? Or am I getting that wrong?
I've never heard of that one myself, but it definitely sounds. I mean, as much back and forth as they go in many games they have, it sounds smart. Yeah, it sounds smart.
Yeah. Like normally we don't like to play blame the referees, and even Rio said on his thing. I don't like to blame these referees off of the bat, but it's every single week there's some new BS call, whether it's week 1, week 5, week 9, playoffs, Super Bowl.
Yeah, even the Eagles game, you know what I mean, with the catch for Devontae, and they overturn it. Then they come, they don't overturn it. Ron should have definitely challenged it, but for them to even call that a catch was BS. And then you turn back, to play with Jahan, and you call that a drop, and you change the call. Matter of fact, you know what I mean, and then Ron challenges and we still losing. It's just they're not consistent. It's not consistent.
And then even look at the game last night, the Eagles-Cowboys game, down the stretch, those penalties that got the Cowboys kind of down there before they self-destructed on their own. But why are we caught? Like, I get it. It was obvious pass interference on the sideline. But some of those other penalties that they called was like, it's just crazy. Like, why are you involved in this at this time of the game? This is crunch time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't call that in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call that in the fourth quarter. Let them play.
Yeah.
It's here when you have guys like Jonathan Vilma, Grant Paulson, Devin McCourty, a former New England corner, saying on national TV, that's clearly a sack, or it's clearly pass interference, or it's clearly holding. Doesn't happen.
But the crazy part is the blatant calls they don't get, but the ticky tack calls, they'll call those all day,
all day long.
Yep, it's why I think it's why TJ Watt was robbed of his 21st and a half sack that he got later in the game, because it was some it's roughing the passer. No, it was a sack. He just didn't roll off in time for the refs to be like, oh, it's a sack, but threw it up. Or like you said, the Jahan Devontae drops, and the what was the catch in this game? That Smith Williams went down for an injury that gave them time to review the catch and say,
that was
was that the Jahan?
No, it wasn't. I don't think
No,
it was the Jahan. It was
to the Patriots. I
yeah, we was on defense.
We were on defense.
Yeah, we was on defense. It was the Patriots guy. It might have been Smith Schuster.
No, it wasn't him. It was another guy. I don't
was
remember
it Douglas?
name, though, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
it
it
wasn't
was
Douglas.
Mario Douglas.
Might have been him. Yeah.
Yep, that was the one.
And even earlier, like how back in the first Eagle game, the catch that they said they called back on Terry, they said that wasn't a catch.
Absolutely.
So it was the end of the game.
Absolutely.
You know, the Giants game was definitely had some questionable calls. We've been getting it all year.
Yeah.
And I actually thought once we sold the team and Dan was gone, all the hate would go away, but clearly it hasn't.
Nope. To me, I think it's truly since 2017, you'd see the refs making worse and worse call exponentially every year. Because 2015, like you weren't seeing ref ball being played early 2000s when RG3 was playing. But the moment Bradley Roby decides to kill a Saints, receiver 5 yards while the ball's in the air, and they're like, oh, can't see. I mean, they're, Stevie Wonder challenge. I can't see. And then now it's going up and up every year. It's like, why?
Yeah, and to your point before about the NBA officials, one of the problems with the NFL officials is that they're not full-time employees.
Mm-hmm.
They're part-time employees. So maybe if they were full-time employees, it would be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because these guys got regular jobs. I mean, at my job actually, there's one of the officials that officiated the Super Bowl because they kind of publicly put it all over email blasts out, in my job. So it's the league maybe need to look at that, doing things differently when it comes to that.
I mean, you're what, a $600-700 billion organization with hundreds of thousands of sponsors. You're charging $8 million for a 30-second Super Bowl ad. You can't take 5 ads and say we'll take this $40 million and support 100 referees.
But the crazy thing is like I was telling Z on we were talking about this earlier on our podcast that these referees are just I just don't get it. Every week it's a new referee that I've never seen before, and it's like 4 years of experience. Where? I've never seen you before. What experience do you have as wearing a white hat official? Now I can say if you were the field judge, the back judge, the umpire, or something like that. But where were you a referee at? Because I've never saw you before. It's like brand new every week. There's somebody different.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know refs they retire or they go away, but I've never seen you before. And you're the cause of a pivotal moment in this game.
Yep.
Why? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And then remember even the Giants game, they turned around and gave us the exact same officiating referees, the crew, as last year.
Yep.
That didn't call that.
That didn't call that play at the end of the game for Curtis. The dude damn near basically bear hugged him. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's up. It's super weird, man. And it's blatant at this point.
It's blatant.
But the crazy part is they're supposed to be evaluated every game. And they're supposed to be on some type of point system. That's how they figure out who's going to be the referees in the playoff games and who's a referee that's going to be in the Super Bowl. But clearly, like these are some of the same crews that's making the same mistakes. So clearly they're not learning from what they did before or the league. The league is always sending out memos about, this type of hit or that type of hit. You need to send out memos to these officials because I don't ever hear nothing about that. It's just, at this point, it's out of control.
Yeah. So you're telling me you can find Jaylen Warren $50,000 for a football play tackle in the end zone, but you can't mediate a referee meeting. You can't find them. You can't say, hey, you go back, sit out this week, go review the film, and write up a 5-page report about why you made this call versus what you should have made.
Yeah, and then the crazy part is they don't have to own up to it. They can just walk off the field.
Yep.
I think there's something in their collective bargaining agreement I seen today on Twitter that said something about a fit like a kind of like a pool reporter can interview them, but they can request it. But it's only one reporter, so like all of the rest of the reporters couldn't ask questions.
Of course.
So I think Nikki for the Washington Post,
yep. Nikki
she asked the questions, and the guy was just basically like, he came down with his body weight on him. Where? Because it looked like he kind of eased up when he was going to the
Yeah,
front.
he leaned and rolled off him. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It ain't like he just flatlined him or anything. He made a tackle, man. Like he literally made a textbook tackle.
move.
Everything they teach us when you're on defense and when you're making a tackle. Like, and that would have been his first career sack. Like
First
it
career
just,
sack.
it just robbed him, man.
If I was league office, I'd still give it to him. I'd be like, these reps ain't shit. I'm still giving you the sack. Because I mean, it was a rookie signing. We couldn't find KJ Henry for the first 8 games. The moment he gets in the game, man, career sack. You hear the whistle, KJ. What you do? A football move.
Yeah.
And that kind of just sucked the air out of all of the rookies had a good week.
Yeah,
they contributed in some form or fashion, and to take that away from them was crazy. Guys, they wait their whole life to get to the NFL to record a sack, and they take that away from him. So now he has to wait, and who knows when he's going to get it.
Facts.
Probably a while now. At this rate, it's going to be a while. But let's get into our actual Commanders winning outside of these. We play the referees and the Patriots, but we seem to do that every single week. But let's talk about it. 20-17, not the greatest game, but we won. Sam Howell had another 350-plus passing, game, touchdown and a pick. That 3rd and 23 where he just turns into Derrick Henry,
Cam Newton.
It says, fine. Like, turn it to Thanos. Fine. I'll do it myself. And just bulldozes, jumps over a man. Like, why can't we get more of this?
Facts.
Give me some of this.
That's facts. I mean, I was actually like, when I was watching the game, I was kind of doing something, looked at my phone. I looked up, and he probably about halfway through the first down, and he breaks the tackle. I'm like, oh, shit. And I mean, he made another move, went up to sideline. I'm like, wow. And then they was like, well, maybe he's short. I'm like, nah, he got that first.
He got that.
Yeah, he got that. It was beautiful to see, man. I mean, it just attributes to who Sam really is. You know what I mean? He because I was saying earlier on our podcast, too, I was telling Reedie, like, the play before that, he got sacked. Then he came right back, you know what I mean, and ran 23 yards to get the first down. And I think the following play, I think we ended up scoring on that drive or something like that. That wasn't the drive right before halftime, was it?
I don't think
it was like 2 minutes. It was like that.
Okay, so we didn't score on that
That's the
drive.
one where he threw the pick.
Yeah, he threw the pick, but he was leading us
yeah.
all the way downfield. I think it was like a 80-yard drive, 77-yard drive or something like that. It was just great to see, man. But you know what I mean, like I said, it attributes to who he is. He's gritty. He doesn't give up on his play. On a play, he make a mistake, he bounce right back from it. And I mean, like we posed the question earlier, is like, is Sam a franchise quarterback at this point?
And that's what I was saying when the play was going on. I was locked in. I'm in my basement, and the whole house, I was screaming so loud. I was like, "That's my quarterback! That's my quarterback!" I put up the Terrell Owens meme and all that. Like, that's my quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, stab it right now. That's my quarterback. Like, I don't know what else they're looking for. He can make every single throw. He has athletic ability. He has a little bit of wiggle. We don't need him to be Lamar Jackson. We just need him to be Sam Howell. Just I like the new what EB's doing with them now, getting the ball out of his hands. If he keeps doing that, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And then like what I'm telling everybody, I'm looking at the statistics, and he's right there in like the top 5 with all of these so-called elite quarterbacks. Now, I'm not getting ahead of myself and saying he's elite, but you're putting up numbers with these so-called elite guys. So what can you do when you really get it?
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. Everybody wants to say, oh, he's not this, he's not that, he's not this. And they forget what Joe Burrow did, what Herbert did. Like, they made mistakes too. What Tua did. Everybody wrote him off. They said that, oh, well, he needs to be out of there. He don't need to be the starter. But now they're praising all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, give him time,
Yeah. Even Josh Allen struggled his first year. Exactly. I mean, look at him now.
Mahomes didn't even play his first 2-3 seasons. He was on the bench.
Yep.
Alex Smith was in there. So, he needs time. what he had, 16 games, and then he played the last game. He's only had 10 games in this league. It's hard. That's the hardest position on the field to play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If
Chris,
everybody could do it, all of these first round draft picks would do it. And a lot of these busts that, don't do nothing and they're bounced out of the league in 2-3 years, or they're a career backup.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I mean, that's the current trajectory. Like Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett is slowly going down, and you're not going to be in this league much longer. I think the XFL is right around the corner.
You can't tell me that he's not better than Kenny Pickett. He's not better. He's not playing better than Justin Herbert. He's not playing better than all of these other kids. The only outlier that's out there is the holding the ball and the sacks. That's it.
Sacks.
So when it comes to the mechanics, when it comes to the arm strength, when it comes to, throwing the football, what you're supposed to do, managing the game, A1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm not just saying it because I'm a homer. It's A1. He passed the eye test.
Yeah. Sacks, hold on the ball, and experience.
Yeah.
Literally, and it's a brand new West Coast offense from Eric Bieniemy. What did he have last year? Sitting behind Wentz, sitting behind Heineke in a Scott Turner offense.
But EB also has to help him out too.
Yeah.
That's why I said I like what he's doing now with the quick game. We've been calling for the quick game all year.
Oh yeah.
We've been calling for boots, waggles, move the pocket. You see how they're moving the pocket now? We're calling for it. I put an APB out for the I formation because I ain't seen it all year, but I finally seen it this last game.
Yeah.
So the offense is evolving.
Yeah. Chris, what were you thinking when you were watching this game?
All right, 10-0. I'm feeling confident, feeling like, oh yeah, we're gonna beat these guys like real bad. Then I see my man's Brian Robinson Jr. fumble the football. I'm like,
man,
oh damn, here we go. Typical Redskins football. We're gonna go up 10-0 and then proceed to blow it. All right. And then they score, so you're like, damn, if he doesn't fumble, they don't get the short field, and they don't score. And then, we kind of had the momentum taken from us, when that fumble happens. And then obviously they go up 14-10. And then you see Howell, take the team down the field right before halftime. You're like, okay, maybe we can at least get a field goal, make it a 1-point game, or score a touchdown, take the lead, and make it a 3-point game. What does he decide to do?
The dumbest shit ever.
A horrible hit. Look, my guy, you was my QB, and I'm gonna ride or die with you the whole way, man. But I mean, my God, dude, you just don't throw a ball like that, man.
At all.
I mean, did you like forget from the Buffalo game? Like, bro, you just can't throw a pick like that. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
On a 2-man route. That's the crazy part. Exactly. And he had Pringle on the backside, but the defensive end was standing right there next to the tackle. So even if he would have threw it back across his body, there was green grass.
Risky, yeah.
I think they still make the play. Throw it out of the back of the end zone. Live to fight another day.
Yeah.
You don't always have to make a play. And I think that's the part that he's learning, the last few weeks. But he wants to, everybody's guilty of it. Everybody wants to make a play. But sometimes you gotta live to fight another day.
Yeah. The one key thing I loved most about that though, after he threw that interception, he went to the sideline. Ron grabbed him, whispered in his ear, hugged him, pat him on his back, and we moved on. He came out second half like it never happened. Yeah. You know what I mean? It wasn't like everybody pissed at him and yelling at him or in his grill about it. He made his mistake. Yeah. You know what I mean? He said what he needed to say. They moved on and he fixed the problem. So that's what I'm loving a lot about how he's bouncing back from these mishaps and mistakes. And he's just showing that, he's a tough one.
Yeah. And he's taking responsibility. Where some quarterbacks are like, man, the team didn't play well. I could do a few things better, but there's a team. He's like, no, it's on me. I got to get better. I need to fix this. I need to improve myself, and I will move on, as will we.
If we being real, honestly, like after we went up 10-0, we should have been able to put like at least 30 on these guys. Like, if we're being real, because, like I said, we had the momentum taken from us when Brian Robinson fumbled that ball. We really did. Like, we had the momentum taken from us. But we rebounded, and got the, came out with that, with the victory.
Yeah.
Was it an ugly victory? Maybe. But I mean, a win is a win,
Absolutely.
I mean, a win's a win, but I mean, having Ramondre Stevenson run right past the linebacker for 64 yards for a touchdown right before half. And have y'all seen the photo of Del Rio just holding the tablet like, Jamie, come look at this?
Oh yeah, I seen that.
They
showed it on the broadcast.
Yeah, they had it was a cross dog concept. Him and Mayo was supposed to cross, and Jamin never got across the guard. He was lackadaisical. Like, are you gonna swim across the dude's face? Are you gonna at least run to your spot? Like, do something forceful. He just literally like tiptoed there, and the guard got to him before he even.
Yep.
Yeah, all the guard had to do was just get in his way.
But that's not even the worst of it. The worst of it was Butler. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, did you guys see the replay?
Yeah,
he came up and tried to arm tie. What are you doing?
See,
he's trying to push him down. He's running with a full head of steam, and you come and trying to push him down. You were scared. You were scared, my boy.
That's true. That's true.
Like Kendall Fuller is clearly blocked.
Yeah.
Cameron Curl's on the other hash, on the opposite side of the field.
Hauling
ass. You see him at the end trying to run him down.
Yeah.
But how far he had to come. And Cam Curl ain't all that fast anyway.
No.
So Percy Butler, you gotta make that play.
Got to.
Yeah. And Curl was had him
make
too.
that play.
And Curl had him like the 1 yard line too. You see him just kind of reach out like I almost had you.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, see, here's the thing, because it was, if it's supposed to be a cross dog concept, and Jamin Davis, he should have been able to get over there. But I do understand, like, Percy Butler, like, Stevenson, he kind of already had, like, maybe a full steam going. So, like, Butler might have not been able to, like, fully, but, like, he shouldn't have, like, elbowed him or, like, shoulder pad. He should have been, like, maybe able to, like, I mean, yeah, it might have been an extra 15 for them, but like at that point, you just got a horse collar,
face mask.
Yeah, you gotta leave your feet. You gotta, but he didn't even try to run through him. Like if you look, like, do me a favor, go back and look at it. And when you look at this, you're gonna be like, Reedie was right. This dude did not want no smoke. That's what it was. He didn't want no smoke. You can't tell me that you're in the NFL. You've been tackling your whole life. You've been playing football at least 10 years, and you can't tell me that you can make it. Like he was within striking distance to make a tackle. He could have hit him. We used to call it a roll when you hit him below below the waist.
Yeah,
he could have hit him with a roll. He could have jumped on him. He could have did anything. You got to sacrifice your body. That's what this game is about.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Like that's terrible. Now I see why he wasn't in the game before Defo got hurt.
Yeah.
Because stuff like that, he put that on tape. If I see it, I know they see it.
Yeah. And I mean, right now, you can kind of tell we're missing Forrest right now. Butler's not playing well. Let's be honest, Martin got lucky on that interception. Because it was a bad it was jumbled in the air after it already bounced off the receiver. I think it went to Douglas again. And then you see Martin come off the frame, just like kind of jump on the ball. Mm-hmm. Good on him. First career interception. Good on you. You're lucky you caught that. Mm-hmm. It almost fell on the ground as you were going to the ground. I was like, don't drop that ball.
Yeah.
But we need takeaways. We had that one.
I was real scared in that moment. I thought we was gonna give it up.
Yeah.
That's typical Washington football right there, having the lead, and then they gonna think like, damn, they gonna blow it, and then like you're biting on your teeth and you're like, okay, we won.
But let me say this: the problem is we get too conservative. We keep going 3 and out, in crunch time in the last 8 minutes of the game. That's when you have to sustain drives. that's when you have to move the football down the field. We could at least try to get a field goal or something. Like, we just keep going 3 and out. It's no way you move the football the whole game and then all of a sudden, in that moment of the game, you're bad. That's come on.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. The play calling sucks. This we keep running out of this shotgun, this RPO stuff. We know Sam's not running the football. So they know B Rob's going to run the ball, and then you're running to the A gap and the B gap. You're not stretching them. You're not doing anything. Like, do something else. That clearly
what happened
is not
to the
shotgun?
What happened to the old school shotgun counters or something? Yeah, like it's
no. So 2 things, like, like y'all said, we get too conservative, and that's true. Like, do y'all remember when we faced Tampa Bay a couple years ago when we had Heineke, and there was like 10:55 to go in the game, and we took down the entire clock, and like basically, Gibson walked in for a touchdown, bow, that was game. Man, if we could have a drive like that again, I would feel more confident in this offense. Like, I'm not saying I don't right now, but like, if we could have drives like that where we just milk clock, I feel like our offense would be, a lot better. I feel like maybe.
But that's why I said it's the play calling, because if you go back to when he threw the interception, why are we not running the ball?
Why are we not running the ball? We had 3 timeouts.
Yeah. And what was the play call before the 2-minute warning with Eric Bieniemy saying, "Nah, you know what? Let's take a shot down the field, even though they have no timeouts, but you have the 2-minute warning coming up." That's where you could have actually ran the football,
exactly.
Let it go down to the warning, and then, New England would have really had to go hurry up, there.
Or how about does he use a timeout?
One of those third down plays that he took a shot, and I was like, why did you take a shot right there?
It was third and 1.
Open right underneath.
Yeah. It's like 3rd and 1, 3rd and short, and he took a shot. And like you said, I think it was I think we had you text me, you were saying you was, I don't know, Terry was wide open in the short route.
Yeah. Like if that was a 2nd and 1 situation, all right, cool, take the shot. Because you have 3rd down to pick it up. 3rd and 1, run the ball, QB sneak, QB draw, screen, tight end screen, something.
Yeah. Even last week, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say just why are you trying to throw the ball 45 yards deep, and you're either gonna ask for a defensive pass interference, you're gonna get an offensive pass interference, interception, or it's going out of bounds.
Absolutely.
Nothing good comes out of that unless it's a DPI.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was clearly covered. Take the sure bet, get the first down, keep moving the ball. Like, but that was just not smart football.
Even last week, we had that 4th and 1, and he threw the hitch, or to Terry. Terry's blanketed.
Yeah.
And if you look, if you go back and look at the play, Curtis Samuel's in the middle of the field, wide open. He could have did cartwheels into the end zone.
Yeah.
Like literally cartwheels. So it was just like, man, like it was crazy. And even on that play, it's like, why are we throwing the ball? I get it, every now and then you want to mix it up, but it's like nobody's gonna think you're running the ball anyway because you don't run the ball for real. So and you got this bruiser and Brian Robinson, use him.
Yeah. He still thinks he has Patrick Mahomes back there to where he can have Sam Howell just basically roll out of the pocket and like throw it on the run, when in reality, that's not what you have. You have a young guy that is still trying to learn the game, and the game is kind of slowing down for him, and he's going to take it at his pace, but like at the same time though, hand the ball off in that situation. Let Brian Robinson, like maybe somehow try to get a first down, or something like that. Like, let the clock go down, because then New England's really in crunch time, and they had no timeout, and the only thing that was stopping the clock, was an incomplete pass and the 2-minute warning, so like we could have easily, just like ran the ball and taken it down to the 2-minute warning. and then we wouldn't have to worry about New England, trying to go down the field because they were able to get that stop on the incomplete pass,
Yeah.
And they could have, kept going down and down and down.
Mm-hmm. Here's the crazy thing. New England didn't even have 23 minutes of total time possession. They had 22 minutes, 50 seconds. We had 37 minutes. We had 15 minutes more time possession, a literal football quarter.
Yeah, we were like doubling them, and like I think plays and yards, right?
Let's see, plays we had total yards we had them beat by 100. We had better yards per play. We had more first downs, better third downs. We had 14 more total plays. We let up 3 sacks, punted 5 times, same amount of penalties, same amount of interceptions thrown. Oh, and by the way, where the hell was our defensive line? I don't care that you traded Chase and Montez. What happened to the Jonathan Allen being fired up, saying I'm sick of this 7-year shit? Where's Deron Payne's contract doing? What happened to Casey 2 sacks? Nowhere to be seen.
But the crazy thing is, I was texting this too. I was calling for Jack to blitz all year. He's been blitzing lately, but you can't even get home with the blitz. It's just crazy. Like Mac Jones had all day back there.
Half the time they're running out of shotgun with 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, and a running back on motion. He's got all day. He can lean back, say, Bill, I need some food. Hey, Bill, what's the next play call? Call my girl saying, man, I could use a happy ending. Just all day back there.
Yeah, all day.
Just all day. Other suntan in Foxborough, just like, man, where's Hunter Henry? Fuck it, he's down there somewhere. And all day. It's not like they're getting double teamed. If he was getting double teamed, that leaves a man open to get through. Nothing. We had no sacks. We gave up 3.
Yeah.
But if you go back and you look at the tape, the sacks that he took in this game, nobody was open. Nope. No, and he can't really get out of there to throw the ball away. So like what can you do? So like I don't even really look at the sacks. But that's why, going back, that's why I say that it's good that Bieniemy is moving the pocket. Yeah, he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to do all of that trickery and stuff outside of the pocket, throwing the different platform throws and all of that stuff. But moving the pocket is good for him because the offensive line, let's just be honest, is abysmal. They've been better the last 2 weeks, but for the whole season, they've been trash. So I agree with moving the pocket, getting them outside and stuff like that. Shorten the field so that way he don't have to look at the whole field. He only has to look at half the field. Going back to the interception, it was half the field. He made a terrible mistake. There's only a 2-man route going that way. Throw the ball away, But those are the little things. But I like that he's moving the pocket because it cuts down on him having to think so much,
Yeah. And so, what was I about to say? Damn it! Now I lost it.
He'd be like that. Yeah. More other thing. Dyami Brown. You were supposed to be this speedy, good, reliable receiver. Shout out to my man Chidel Dodonna because I love him. What happened to his hands? Dropped a clear touchdown. Even the announcers were like, was it bobbled? Was it, bad throw? No. Right through your hands.
Right on the money.
Drive a semi through his hands.
But all the receivers are dropping back. Like Terry, I was telling Z, Terry has to make that catch.
Yeah.
Where he goes up and, his shoulder kind of moves a little bit.
Correct.
Yeah. They were clear.
Yeah, I mean, and Jahan's my guy. Jahan had that that drop first drive.
Yeah.
He redeemed himself, through the rest of the game. But that first drive, he had a key drop. I'm not sure if he would have got the first down on that, but definitely the ball hit his hands, so he has to make that catch. And I mean, just not long ago, he was getting creamed for the drop in the Giants game. Week before that, the drop in the Atlanta game.
Yeah. So
we've been suffering from a lot of drops this year. And Terry had the 2 drops against was that the Eagles game?
I think so.
Yeah, those two
Yes.
key drops at the final drive. So got to make them catches, man.
That's not like Terry.
No,
at all.
I put a lot of weight on Terry and Jahan. I'm real critical of Jahan because I know what he's capable of. I know what he brings to the table as a young receiver. And then just following him in college, like he never dropped the football.
Ever.
No. Never dropped the football.
If we were going on stats alone, Terry's obviously our best receiver on stats alone. He went 5 catches for 73 yards. You want to know who my receiving MVP was? Motherfucking Byron Pringle.
Byron Pringle.
Absolutely. I second that.
That throw from Sam where he's running to his right. He turns mid run and says,
very Mahomes like.
Just across the field. And I'm like, this isn't gonna be good. I'm like, Byron Pringle catch, turns around, gets like 5 more yards. I'm like,
But what even makes it even better is it was on third down.
It's on third down.
Definitely was third down.
It's like every catch he had was on third down.
Yeah.
Key situations on third down when you need it, he was coming up big.
Yeah.
But I got a question for all y'all. Do you guys like the way Curtis Samuel is being used? Because I hate it. We need more. We need to see more. We need to move him around more. They talk about a Swiss Army knife. He's that. Why don't we use him like that?
Curtis wasn't in this game.
He needs to come out of the backfield. He needs to come out from everywhere.
No, he ain't played this game, but just
not this game. I'm just saying generally.
Overall,
season.
Yeah, overall, that's been a very good, very subject we keep bringing up. It's like, what's going on with that? You know what I mean? I definitely thought that, we would use him sort of how like they used Tariq, sort of how like they use McKinnon a little bit, always in the, the jet sweeps and the jet motions, whatever it may be. Get this man the ball, get him the ball in open space, let him make some things happen, and it's been real limited for Curtis. And we need not to forget Curtis is like top 4 paid on the team. You know what I mean? He's making like $14-15 million a year.
Yeah.
Let him earn his money.
Yeah. Here's my thing is like, love Curtis. I don't think he sticks around next year, but love him. Yeah. Why the hell is Mitchell Tinsley still on the inactive roster? You pick him up in free agency. You're like, all right, he's 6'1", 6'2", good hands, good size, good speed coming out of Penn State. You would have thought he would be the next, receiver up, especially with Curtis being out. No, healthy scratch.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel in my mind, I definitely felt like especially after Crowder having the game he had against the Eagles, that they was going to definitely put Crowder in there. Because he's definitely deserving his time. But like we spoke on Pringle, whether it's Tinsley, Pringle, or Crowder, you got to get these guys the ball. I'm very disappointed in Dyami. I definitely thought this would be his year, especially with his boy at quarterback.
Yeah.
He's made some solid catches, but overall it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
You cried all these years about not getting opportunities, and Cam Sim was in your way and all that, and you see he not capitalizing on the opportunities.
No,
I feel like we're being a little bit too hard on Dyami. I feel like Dyami, he's making majority of the plays. There's a couple that he dropped or whatever, but you got to think Dyami. Let me look at Dyami. He only had 4 targets. He made 2 catches for 33 yards this last game.
Yeah.
He's averaging probably like 3 or 4 targets a game.
True.
So it's not like he's in there. I seen it earlier on Instagram where they broke down the snaps. He only had probably like 20 snaps.
Yeah.
So you got to think, like, what was the play call? Who was the primary receiver? Like, where was the ball supposed to go? Sure. So like, just because he's out there, that don't mean that it's designed to go to him. He may have not been open, so we can't be so critical on it. I feel like Dyami's going to come along, but he made a couple of mistakes. But for all the receivers, and then to go back to your point about Tinsley, there's too many receivers in the way. Who's he coming and who's he knocking out? Maybe Dyami. That's the only one we could really truly argue him knocking out, because he ain't knocking out the big 3.
No,
he ain't knocking out Pringle, because Pringle is making plays.
Yep.
He's not knocking out Jamison Crowder because Jamison Crowder is your punt returner, and he's your backup slot.
Yeah.
So how are they going to make him active? I mean, we're only going to have maybe five receivers active on game day.
Yeah. But also, it's like, but also too, and I agree with you on the Tinsley part. But even on the back on Dyami side, it's like at some point we gotta think like why isn't Dyami getting these reps? I mean, this is yet another coordinator he's not getting the reps that we thought he would definitely get. In the beginning of the season, all we talked about was our receivers. And we just knew, you know, I mean, you got Terry, you got Jahan, you got Curtis. And we knew the fourth receiver should definitely be Dyami, and we expected Dyami to be nice. And I still believe in what what he can do. But it's just like at the end of the day, like, dude, why aren't you getting these reps? This is your fourth year. Like, what's going on? You've been behind these guys for 4 years. And you finally get the year to really step it up, and you still not getting the reps. It's something that's not adding up. You know what I mean? So you got to consider that too.
Yeah, I agree with the Tinsley part. I mean, me being a little hyper aggressive, like I wanted to see Tinsley out there because he was a good receiver at Penn State. And
yeah.
He's not beating out Terry, Curtis, Jahan. All right, cool. He's probably not beating out Dyami. All right, so 5, 6, yeah. But even if it's just special teams, whether it's taking over for Gibson for a reception or two, whether it's even in practice, you don't hear nothing saying, man, Tinsley made a great catch in practice. Or he was using second team, third team snaps. He's sitting in Ashburn. Like I said, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. He's sitting in Ashburn picking a check. He's watching the game on TV, saying, man, that could be me. And I agree with the Dyami thing. It's another coordinator underutilizing him, yes, but also you now have your boy. You now turn to Stephen A. Smith, my boys, and you would have thought he had this UNC connection. Sam Howell, this big arm, he's got one of his weapons back from the UNC days. They were chopping it up in the offseason, whether you followed Dyami's YouTube channel or whatnot. They're throwing balls at practice with him, Jacoby, Fromm and Tim DeMorat, the 4-string quarterback. They're throwing balls. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm getting hyped for the season. I think Dyami's had maybe 20 targets the whole season, or 25 targets the whole season.
Dyami 2023 has 15 targets.
That's crazy.
And 9 games played, he has 8 receptions and 15 targets for 120 yards.
That's crazy.
In 2022, he had 14 targets.
All year.
All year.
In 2021, he had 12 receptions on 25 targets.
You would have thought his name's Chase Claypool. You would have thought his name was Nelson Aguilar.
Man. Or Rieger.
Or Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, man. Everywhere Rieger goes, he can't catch the ball. They was talking about that earlier. He just can't. He has all the tangibles, but he just can't catch the ball.
Can't catch the ball, but he'll block a corner for Ramondre's 64-yard touchdown. Like put him at corner for yard or something. He can't play receiver. Might play linebacker. Who knows? Yeah, linebacker is still a problem. Going back to defense, linebacker is still a problem.
Yeah, David Mayo is just slow. Jamin is just confused.
Khalid is still young and developing.
Khalid he's undersized against Hunter Henry. Where's Jabril Cox?
He needs to be on the bench.
They keep calling him up. They ain't putting him on the field. He has to be better than Mayo.
Mayo's trash. Don't get me wrong in the pass game, but he tackles in the run game. That's why he's in it. In the pass game, they need to get him out of it. Yeah. I was calling for this in the game. I'm like, why are we not in the dime? Get these linebackers off the field. They're a liability. They are alive. All you got to do is run crossing routes. Yeah. That's it. We're toast. It's it.
It's gone. And Jamin Davis saved himself with that pass breakup in the fourth quarter. Or else he would have been a laughing stock of this game.
And that was luck. You can't tell me that was a bona fide play. He just happened to put his arm up.
I want to say that he was looking at the receiver eyes. And
Miss me with that.
I'm going. That's what they teach. I'm gonna defend
Miss
him on
me
that
with
one.
that. I played
I watched
linebacker.
that.
Miss me with
I watched
that.
that.
He
He looked
no
at the receiver once he saw the receiver look up and try to do this. He stuck his hand up and he knocked the ball out of there. So I'm gonna give him that one. I'm gonna defend Jamin on that one because he definitely reacted off of the guy opening up and trying to catch the ball.
And he's supposed to be this speed guy. And they started doing it. They started doing it this game. I've been calling for this too. Why not just blitz him?
Correct.
Let him go after the quarterback.
Correct.
Don't put him in coverage. Just blitz him. Bring him off the edge. Use his speed. He runs a 4.4, 4.3.
Yep.
Use him in that factor. Because anytime they run a wheel route out of the backfield, he's toast. Swift almost burnt him up a couple times. It just was a bad ball. He should have been toast on that. And he's always in the trail position. Always. He's never on top. He's never on top. He's always in the trail position. And it just might be a bad ball or the ball hang up there or something like he might get there at the end. Always. Now, don't get me wrong, he's much improved, but he ain't it. None of the linebackers is it when it comes to coverage.
He came out of Kentucky saying, "Oh, he's supposed to be the next Josh Allen, nice, tall, speedy, good intangibles." I was like, "All right, overdrafted as hell. I would have taken JOK over him. I would have taken Nick Bolton over him. I was. This is before we made BIB. Before I joined Chris and the crew over on Command Central when that was still a thing. In 2021, I was like, take JOK. The best linebacker in that draft was JOK, Nick Bolton, yada yada yada, Jamin Davis.
Who JOK? Are you talking about the one that went to the Browns?
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Yeah.
Isn't that who I said we should have drafted that year?
That's who really wanted us to draft it, and we definitely should have traded up.
And we could have even traded up and got Parsons.
We should have traded up.
We could have traded down and still got JOK. That's how.
No, I think he went to pick. Did he go after?
He didn't go to the second round. He fell to the second round because of his heart issue, which was the same thing Sweat had. That's why he fell in 19. We traded back up to get him, and now he was Ballin and Burgundy. But he fell to the second round. It was like round 2, pick 50 or something like that. I'm like, take him. We took Cosby in the second, but I would have traded back with New York. If you wanted a receiver that bad, I'll trade back with you. Give me a 3rd and a 5th. That's cool. Trade back 4 spots. Give me JOK.
Yeah, I definitely wanted him that year coming out. And I was saying that's the linebacker that we needed to take. And when we went,
it was another. I think it was another guy that went to the Saints too, wasn't it? I think it was another linebacker that went to the Saints.
Not P. Werner. It was
somebody else.
Saints did, sure. Let me see. Because I think I know who you're talking about. Linebacker. Zach Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, there were linebackers this year we could have. Last year we love to look over this linebacking core because man, we got John Bostic and we got David Mayo. Great guys.
John Bostic couldn't cover either.
Nope.
The last linebacker that we had that could somewhat cover was London Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We joke with Justin all the time when he's on is, hey man, Mayo and Bostic, your favorite players making plays. He's like, I'm gonna kill you both if you say John Bostic one more time. Because it's getting
John Bostic was all of these linebackers are good against the run, but they're terrible in coverage.
I don't know what Ron and Ron played linebacker, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like, how do
you Jack Del Rio?
Yeah. How do you not value the position that you played? Like, come on, the middle linebacker is the quarterback of the defense. Like, you just keep getting subpar guys.
Why can't we get a Kuechly X type player?
Yeah. That's what Jamin was supposed to be, was our next Kuechly. He ain't. He's going to be our next David Mayo.
I didn't see that coming out from the highlights that I do a pretty good extensive draft stuff, like research leading up to, and I didn't see that in him at all.
Yeah.
It was a couple. I forget. It was a couple other players that I mentioned that I thought we should draft because this is what me and Z have. Like, I'm the draft guy.
Yeah.
I tell him about we should get this person, we should get that person, and then when we don't pick him, I'm pissed and I'm cussing and fussing all day about why we didn't pick this person. And then when they go to where they go and they turn up, I'm like, I told you so. I told you so.
Oh, that was me and Andrew, because we went live for the draft this year, our first year going live for that. And we were going live. We're like, all right, pick 16. We're gonna take Gonzo and be set. I'm sitting, the TV behind me. I'm like, all right, the Washington Commanders. I'm like, all right, cool. They select Manuel Forbes. I go, no. And then Gonzo was balling in New England before he gets hurt.
Yeah.
He guarded Tyreek Hill, and for the most part, did his job.
That's who we wanted. That's who we wanted.
Forbes looked great against Tyquan Thornton, against Demario Douglas. Cool. You had two pass breakups and like a 70.1 pass rating on you this game. Congratulations. You finally produced.
But is it his ability as a player, or is it just his smarts? Because what I'm hearing now is that he just doesn't do what they're telling him to do. He's not playing to the scheme.
Is he Chase Young?
That's why he was getting beat. That's the narrative that they're painting now.
Yeah.
I listened to Ron's press conference earlier, and that's what they were saying. Like he's starting to do those things. That's why they decided to put him back in there this week.
If he turns into another Chase Young of doing his own thing, get him out of here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Man, I hate Chase Young. Y'all already know.
Did y'all see what he said?
Yeah, y'all hear about Chase today?
Yeah. Let's talk about that before we wrap things up. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let me say this about Chase Young. Y'all remember Bryce Harper here in DC when he was with the Nats, right? Being cocky and arrogant. Mm-hmm. That's what Chase Young was here in Washington. Cocky and arrogant. Mm-hmm. Let's be real. He only won Rookie of the Year? Because he had 7.5 sacks.
Defensive Rookie of the Year,
yeah. Rookie of the Year. Yeah. During COVID season.
Yeah, during COVID season. What did he do his next year before he got hurt? 1.5 sacks and
how many really doing much? What, like 4 or 5 or something like that?
Yeah, like 1.5 sacks.
And I feel crazy because I kept vouching for him.
Yeah, Reedie was vouching all off season. I'm calling Reedie up because that's another thing. The fact that we so close, and this is actually how we established the podcast. All day long, we calling each other 5 and 6 times a day, 5 minutes apart. Like, man, I just thought of it. What you think about this? And just go back and forth. I called this man. I'm like, look, Payne about to get this money. Sweat, Chase, or both. Somebody's gone. He like, well, trade Sweat. We can't trade Chase. I'm like, dude, at this point, Sweat has the more value. Chase been hurt. Trade Chase. Nah, man, people get hurt. Reedie's pass. He was a linebacker. He was also fullback. He had towards ACL. He had a kneecap injury, so he has sympathy for those guys that go through recovery and come back. And it's like, that's cool and all, but I'm telling you, if you're not on the field, you're a liability.
Yeah.
Regardless. So I'm like, at this point, we need to trade Chase. And he like, man, F that, y'all not loyal, man, this and that, man. He's a homer, man. Give him some time. So we gave him some time. The season started. Chase started being productive. He was so happy, so damn happy. And I'm like, look, maybe you still trade him. Why not? He getting the value. We not gonna be able to pay him both. I didn't think we would trade both. Honestly, I knew it was on the table, but I didn't think it would happen. So when we did trade them both, Reedie was he was mad. He was like, man. Right in the beginning, once I called him up, I'm like, you hear what happened? Nah. I'm like, man, he traded your man for a 3rd-round pick. I'm gone. I'm sick of the team. So they just gonna kick the tires on the season. This is what I be talking about. Man, I'm just done. Probably like hour later, he called me. You know what? Maybe it ain't that bad. Maybe it ain't that bad. You know what I mean? So he kind of came to his senses after a while, but he been on this Chase bandwagon. I'm like, dude, like the dude is he might be overrated, bro. And even if he go out there and he pans out, based on what he produced here, we finally made a football decision based off the facts and not off of feelings and emotions. That's all I was happy to see that.
Yeah, and then they got to pay him if they want to keep him. They got to pay him.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like, nah.
Chris,
I feel like we could have got the injury history is the reason why we didn't get the value.
Yeah,
but if we would have got a little bit more value, I would have felt a little bit better about it. It's not the fact that we traded Trace. I just feel like we shouldn't have traded both of them. But I mean, that contract that Montez just got with Chicago, we wasn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have paid
pay
that.
4 years,
So I mean, I guess it was,
98
in hindsight,
million,
it was best.
like
72 guarantee was like 85% of his contract's guaranteed. Chris, you and I are on the boat of like Chase is good. Let's see what he produces. Justin was on this like he clearly re-injured himself training with Von Miller in that offseason. Justin was on that train. I'm like, there's proof in that pudding.
Look, if we being real, I think Chase was honestly cleared midway through last season. I think he just wanted to. I think he just wanted to hold out.
Ron basically said something along those lines about, what's going on with Chase? Well, we'll wait and see. I mean, because remember they opened up the return window.
Yep.
And he just basically he took his time. He was practicing.
Yeah.
He just was taking his time. And once that happened, I felt things was getting shaky. Even in the training camp earlier this year, he all off to the side, doing his side workouts. Like, dude, you're here, like, practice. He was doing this, just taking just so long. And then the stinger thing came up that pushed him back some more. And it just was like, man, this don't just seem right. And, you know, I mean, we've been talking about it for a couple of years now. Like, when Chase is rushing, he's just rushing straight up field. It's like, it's no way his job is not to be able to contain. Defensive ends could rush and contain. And you're rushing all the way in the field, creating these running lanes, these gaps. All these mobile quarterbacks stepping up and doing it. And Sweat used to do it. Sweat fixed it. Chase didn't. And now we get news reports that these guys are freelancing. And, you know what I mean, specifically Chase. You know what I mean, freelancing and just doing their own thing. And then he comes back in the interview today and just basically like, they asking him, you know, are you gonna, you know, so you know, in Washington, you pretty much stood up and rushed. You know, can you elaborate on that? And he was saying that basically he stood up and rushed because that was what basically what they wanted him to do in the scheme. Standing up was best for him. So they was like, well, do you plan on doing the same thing with the 49ers? He like, nah, I'm basically no, that's scrap. I'm rushing with my hand down.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Like,
but so I feel like that's a lie because everybody else is in a 3-point stance. You the only one, like, he was in a 3-point stance most of the time. He stood up sometimes, but it wasn't like, I've never heard nothing like that. A scheme predicates you on standing up, coming off the edge.
Like, what?
Why is he standing up anyway? Because it's not like he's not like Bosa or TJ Watt or anybody. He doesn't have no dip. You know that dip move that they get to get underneath the tackle and get around? He doesn't have that. All he has is a straight bull rush. He has no moves whatsoever. So what are you standing up for? Standing up to get more speed. That's the only thing.
If that was the case, moving to D tackle or linebacker. You've got the build, you've got the size. Turn him into a linebacker or run a 3D tackle, have Sweat and Tuchel off the edge. You run your 2 linebacker, 5 DB set like you normally do, your 5-1-5, your 5-2-5s, and then have him bull rush. Or have him play linebacker as a QB spy and blitz the middle. Because you're going to double team Allen or Payne. You've now got an open lane right there in the middle for Chase to go right through.
Well, we see what he does when the times they did have him dropping the coverage. Terrible. No,
it was bad. He's just standing there, no energy.
Where he's at.
He's just standing there. Just, if you got the flat, he just standing right there in the flat. It's like nothing. Like no energy whatsoever. And the writing was on the wall, man. That Eagles game, he was very lackadaisical. A couple of weeks before that, there was a play where the quarterback was running. Chase stopped chasing him.
Anything downfield, if it's not a upfield move towards the quarterback, they start running, he's jogging.
Like
he's putting a piss poor effort on film.
It's reps.
So I mean, I just wanted to give him an opportunity to try to come back, but I mean, the writing was on the wall. You know, it must be some stuff that was going on behind doors that we don't know about. We're not privy to, because you just don't get up there today in front of the San Francisco media and say the things that you said if it was good.
Sending subliminals.
He wasn't mad. Why wouldn't you be mad? You're a hometown boy. Why wouldn't you want to be home? Your friends here, your mother's here, your family's here. Why would you want to go somewhere else?
Exactly. And he found out on social media.
Super Bowl, but he said he's not mad. Like, you ain't even got through your first contract.
Yeah, that was definitely a lot of subliminals. hidden words and what he was trying to say. And then the fact that his father even jumped on the radio the day before the trade deadline. We haven't heard from you the whole time Chase been here. We've seen you, but you've said nothing. And you just out of nowhere just got a whole lot to say and defending your son. In my mind, I was like, well, yes, he might about to be getting traded. And it happened.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That was on the Grant and Danny show on 106.7 The Fan when he did that, right?
Yeah. I caught it live, and it was, man, Grant was letting him have it, in a respectful way. He on the defender Chase. Man, my son, he's a victim of the scheme, and we want a sack from him every play, and the defense is not designed for that. And y'all calling it out on Chase, but you need to be talking, basically it ain't him. He's doing his job, and he's getting triple team. And Grant like, whoa. I've seen your son get single, and he's not doing anything. I've never seen him be triple team. Like, he was basically letting them know, like, your son isn't the Bosa, isn't the Watt that we thought he was, the generational talent that we thought he was going to be. And that's cool. You know what I mean? And
it happens.
Yeah, they just kept going back and forth about a lot of different stuff. It was crazy, man.
But the crazy part was when they put it up on Twitter and they showed the double teams and all that. Yeah. That was the most hilarious part about it. You're calling in, talking about he's double teamed, say 80% of the time, and then they pulled it up and said he was on the double team twice. So it was
like, stop it.
Yeah, he has been double teamed greatly since his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Super crazy, man.
Yeah, I was like the moment, because I think I was in class or biking back from class last Monday, and I look down at Twitter. I'm like, why is Chase Young's dad on social media right now? I'm like, oh, this is reminiscent of Odell 2 years ago, ain't it? I bet. And I put my phone away. I'm like, all right, that's raps. Mm-hmm. I mean, Chris, you're in the group chat. Being that you're one of the co-hosts. Justin's been saying it all year. Chase is lazy. Chase locks days ago. Chase don't give a damn. Ron's checked out, so that means Chase checked out.
Yeah. And Andrew said it a couple days ago.
And Andrew said it too.
On Friday when we recorded it. And I quote, Andrew said this. He said, Chase Young puts in 0 effort on some plays. He puts in 25% effort. Heck, you're lucky if he even puts in 50% effort on some plays. You really are. So honestly, us getting a 3rd round pick from San Francisco, I'm not mad about, because, what has a guy really produced here for us in order to get a 2nd round pick? Or maybe somehow a 1st round pick out of him? Nothing. Yeah. He hasn't produced nothing. Montez Sweat, I was more upset about, because I thought, I heard earlier that day Jalen Johnson wanted out of Chicago, and we could have gotten him. We could have gotten Jalen Johnson.
For swap,
yeah. Who would have helped out our secondary. So I'm more mad about the Sweat trade than the Young trade, because, like I said earlier, Chase Young is a cocky, arrogant a-hole.
But you got to say it burns you up that they sent him to San Francisco, where he might have a chance.
Look, and the only reason
I don't care.
The only reason Chase Young gets a ring out there, if San Francisco were to win the Super Bowl this year, it's not because of him. It's not. It's because of that team they have already built. Okay? They already built that team. They're basically kind of like, not the Rams, but they kind of are at the same time, because, they, when the Rams went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago, they had that super team built, and that's what the 49ers kind of have now, a super team. So if anything, them adding Chase Young really does nothing,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you have Bosa and Young coming off the line. Nick Bosa is going to produce more than Chase Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's not, have you all seen some of the ghetto Gronk, memes about Chase Young stealing Nick Bosa sacks?
Nah, I ain't seen them.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
You gotta send it to us.
If I can find it, I will. If they haven't taken it down already, I will find a way to send it, because it's funny because it's like, I mean, BOYZ did say some of this stuff in college, so it's kind of wraps things up. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, if they were going to do a swap for swap, Jalen Johnson for Montez, do Tez for Jalen Johnson like a fifth, because Dexter Lawrence just went for a second and a fifth. To Seattle, who we play on Sunday. But I was like, all right, cool. Second round pick, it's going to be a top 40 pick, top 36 pick. Right now, it's pick like 34. Because how bad they are. And the compensatory pick is one of their 3, and it's like pick 95.
Yeah, it's like going to be the lower one.
For real.
Yeah, it's going to be like one of the lower ones.
Yep. I mean,
we're in a good situation right now. Yep. With these picks we got and with the cap space that we got available. But we all know cap space to go like that. So
it'll go out.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. I told Jonathan this last Friday night when we were recording about how we're not necessarily rebuilding. We're more in of a retooling position rather than rebuilding. Correct. Because if we were in a rebuilding position, let's be real, we would have gotten rid of Terry, Deron, Jonathan Allen. We would have gotten rid of them. Yeah. So we're not necessarily in a rebuilding. We're in a retooling phase. Correct. To where we have all this cap, we have all these draft picks that we could spend on. Draft, we'll probably hopefully we'll spend it on offensive line, linebacker, corners, all of that. Yeah. And then, in the off season, if we got to, that's where you can, use all that money, linebacker.
Go get some linebackers, exactly. Go get some goddamn linebackers.
My number one target this offseason is the superior Josh Allen, number 41. That's my number one target. It's because not only does he play linebackers, he's going to rush off the edge.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what we need here. Because don't get me wrong, I like Casey Toohill and James Smith-Williams. I really do. But, man, we need some, game-changing guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Chase and Montez weren't it. I feel like Montez, maybe a little, but Chase wasn't. They weren't game-changing guys, fully, 100%.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I mean, this team, you used a game plan for Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. Man, now they got Sweat and Chase. Man, this team is nasty. Now, we play the Commanders. I mean, just double team Deron Payne and Allen. That's about it. You can go run for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. You probably lose, but hey, your offense is going to look like a top 5 offense.
Yeah.
Bears did it. Giants did it. Cardinals tried. Broncos tried. Those games we should have dominated. 4 points against the Cardinals. Should have choked the game against Denver. We got lucky that 2-point was bad. Chicago, we got outclassed. And New York, we couldn't do anything.
I hope those 2 games right there, the Chicago and the New York game, don't come back to haunt us.
I think the New York one will. I think Chicago, it is what it is at this rate. DJ Moore is a very underrated receiver, and it is what it is. That New York game is going to kick us in the ass because we'll be 8-8 going into week 18. We're going to need a tiebreaker to make the wild card, and it's going to be that game.
Yeah, the only way we fix that is beat Dallas twice and beat the Giants. Then we'll be 3-3 in the division. Yeah, definitely. You definitely got to beat them too.
Yeah.
But as far as in division, we gotta get those 3 division games.
We have to win.
Kind of help that because you lose it to the Eagles twice and then the Giants really set us back on that end. But definitely Seattle, definitely the Rams, winnable games. The Jets. I mean, hopefully Rodgers ain't back by then. He's looking like he out here walking with no crutches. I don't know.
Man's a freaking.
And if we're being real, I think the NFL is producing him with some type of steroid joint. Because let's be real, you shouldn't be able to come back from a torn Achilles
in the same season.
in the
Less than 2
same
months.
Yeah.
season.
Like, it's crazy. How are you walking with no crutches? What surgery did you get that ain't been out here before that nobody else has gotten?
He
Like,
must have went back into the darkness retreat.
yeah, like, what are we doing?
This man got like 5 shots of Toradol in one day, a little bit of ayahuasca, got whatever Andrew Tate was on in prison. Like, he's got something going on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I mean, he got injured September?
Yeah.
September. So yeah, 2 months.
First game, yeah, first play, first drive.
First drive, first 4 plays.
Like the 3rd or 4th play.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You literally got injured you got injured the beginning of fall, and you'll be back by the end of winter. That's
walking without crutches though. It just then it wasn't like he was limping or nothing.
No.
He
was styling with it.
He was styling like, yeah, we already know he's gonna soak up all the attention that he can get. Yeah, that's by the way, that's another one of those guys is Reedie's guy. He loves him some Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is Reedie's GOAT. Yeah. I don't know how, but yeah.
I don't know how.
How is it not Tom Brady, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
God damn. All right, cool.
All right, hold on.
I ain't gonna lie about it. That's my GOAT. I said it. Yeah. What's the issue?
I got one question. If that's your go, and then we'll wrap things up. Who's your basketball GOAT?
My basketball GOAT is Michael Jordan.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Now Bron is up there. Kobe, but yeah, you cannot surpass. I don't care what LeBron does. I grew up in that era. Michael Jordan's always going to be the GOAT to me.
All right, thank you. I was about to say, if you say anybody other than Michael Jordan, I'm gonna have some questions.
Definitely Jordan.
The proof is in the pudding. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, yeah, he may not have the Super Bowls that Brady has, but the man can he can spin it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be real. He can spin it.
He can spin it, but Brady has 2 or 3 Hall of Fame careers.
He can spin it, but he can't win it.
I mean, I'm just saying. Last time I checked, football was a team game, the ultimate team game.
True. It is. But he left the Packers, and then Devontae left the Packers.
Yeah.
Imagine the Jets had a healthy Rodgers. They had Garrett Wilson. They had Alan Lazard. They traded for Devontae.
Man.
It's too much. And now Devontae is rotting in Vegas with $156 million guaranteed or something like that.
Rotten.
It's right now.
And poor Dalvin Cook.
Bro.
Poor Dalvin Cook.
How? I mean,
wasted out. And they didn't even trade him at the deadline. It's just like, wow.
No, poor Vikings. You lose Kirk Cousins that 8th game. Now you just lost Cam Akers for the rest of the season.
Yeah. It's the Dobbs show.
It is the job. What is it? The Pastronaut is his new nickname. I mean, say what you want. He's gonna make his money in the offseason. He's gonna get a contract.
He's gonna get something. The man was practicing his cadence.
Yep.
And his snaps on the sideline. That's crazy.
I mean,
won the game.
Imagine if he goes to the Giants to take over for Saquon. He's killing us.
Yeah.
I can't take it anymore. But yeah, that's gonna wrap things up. Can't appreciate y'all coming on once again. The Reedie and Z podcast on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the whole 9. Appreciate y'all coming on for a lengthy, emotionally charged reactions and rant episode.
It was a good time, man. I appreciate y'all for having us, man.
Thank you for having us. Definitely, man. All the time.
And if y'all are at training camp next year, man, come let us know. We'll be out there.
I'm gonna try for next year. I couldn't do it this year because of school and work, but I'm gonna see if I can do it next year. Yeah. Looks like fun.
Sure.
It looks like fun.
Definitely.
Yes. I mean, it's a win, but we're kind of like, so what?
Yeah, it was the Patriots. We can't get too high.
No.
We can't get too high. We just got to go back and, like what Ron said, we're going to go back, review the tape, and make the necessary adjustments.
I mean, it won't happen until Wednesday.
We're going to go get ready. We're going to go get ready for Seattle. Yeah, Victory Tuesday, so they off tomorrow.
Yeah. So, yes, Victory Monday as we record. They'll have Victory Tuesday when this comes out. They won't get to the facility till Wednesday. They got to fly out on Friday to prepare for Saturday. They play on Sunday. Ron, I'm
so not fly out on Thursday? They kind of get acclimated to being out west.
Well, they said it ain't. They said it's no altitude issues or anything because it's right there by the water.
I'm just saying, just
time zone.
Still, like, you know, that jet lag. That's a long flight.
Yeah. Well, not only is the daylight saving times off, so your body is not used to the hour ahead. Now you got to go 3 hours more back to get reacclimated. I do not envy them whatsoever. Do not envy them. But yeah, Chris, anything else you want to add?
Let's go get a W on Sunday against Seattle.
Yes, sir.
I hope so.
L to them.
L to them. Yeah, like I said, appreciate y'all coming on late night for a lengthy and emotionally charged reactions rant Monday episode. Hit those Commanders, and don't forget to stay ballin'. We'll see y'all out there.